Yo, guys, what is up? A very happy New York session to all of you. Hope everybody's doing well, and can you hear me loud and clear? Yo, guys, what is up? A very not sure why this sound is on, but I think everybody can hear me loud and clear, so that's a good thing. I think the audio is good, no? Let me know, guys, in the chat. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back to another stream. Hey, Fabio, it's a great day for me. I just got accepted to the university. Fantastic, Stan. Congratulations, my man. Great stuff, guys. Hope everybody is doing well, as always. Algeria. Yeah, guys, as always, let me know where you are tuning in from today. We have CPI dropping in around 1.5 minutes. So let me know where you are tuning in from, and then we're going to have inflation numbers come out. So for everybody who wants to know what inflation is, I'm just going to add in economic events, and we can see here that today we have core inflation rate month on month, inflation rate year on year, inflation rate month on month. So obviously inflation ultimately means that products are becoming more expensive, or that the purchasing power of an individual is going down. Now, what you want to see for a bullish dollar, so if you want to see EURUSD push down, you need high inflation number. If you want to see EURUSD go up, you need a low inflation number. So for your knowledge, I'm just going to get it back up again. The more important number should be the core inflation rate year on year. So let's say the forecast is free. So this is forecast. My handwriting is very poor. Let me just put it like this. So let's say the forecasted is free. And previously it was 2.8. That means that inflation is going up if it's, let's say, free. So higher inflation means that they need to put higher interest rates because they want to cool down the economy. So that would ultimately mean, let me see, what time is it? I'm trying to check what the time is. Hey, where did the time go, guys? It's dropped. Woof! So EURUSD starts pushing up higher. So that means that there's a weaker dollar. So let's see what the numbers are. Does anybody have the numbers that they can drop in the chat? Can anybody drop the inflation numbers in chat, guys? What has the numbers been? EURUSD is pushing up higher. So I guess inflation came in lower than expected for now. Let's see. We have 356 people watching, guys. Make sure to leave a like on the stream as always. In the meantime, I'm quickly checking Forex Factory to see what the number was. Let me see. So inflation is updating. Yeah, it came in worse than expected. I see. So that's bad for the dollar. Reason why EURUSD is pushing up higher. I have my screen share not on the right way. But ultimately, what was forecasted was that inflation was going to come in. That's crazy. So that means that inflation was forecasted at 0.3%, but it came in at 0.2. So that is lower than expected, and when it's lower than expected, that means that the economy is a little bit slower, and that it is more likely that they're going to cut interest rates, which is good for risk on assets. So it should mean that the Nasdaq is pumping. Where did I put Nas? Here, US 30. Yeah, so US 30 flies, Nas flies. So that's good for risk on assets, and that is not good for the dollar. So the dollar should be pushing down lower indeed. And Bitcoin should be pushing up higher as well. Yes. Good. So Ethereum, Bitcoin pushing up higher. So this is good for crypto, guys. This is good for crypto, and this is ultimately not so good for the dollar. But this is obviously just one number, but this could indeed kind of like feel the next leg up on your USD. And bad inflation numbers also pushes gold down lower, as we can see for now. So that was the CPI reading. So indices are bullish based on this inflation reading. So again, that's what you're also seeing for now. You're seeing Nas push up higher. Obviously not with the biggest push. Also because it's not the biggest miss. Ultimately, so Nasdaq, let me see. Yeah, so Nas 100 is pushing, but Nasdaq mini futures was dropping. US 100, US 30. So US 30 and S100 pushing, but ultimately the biggest money obviously is made, and the biggest moves are made when we have kind of like the biggest divergence in expectations when it comes to fundamental level. So it's not the biggest kind of like miss. So it's not kind of like a very heavy reaction for now, but it is causing somewhat of a reaction. But let's see where the market now will start pushing towards and what the next direction is going to be. In the meantime, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, guys. We have 420 people watching and only 53 likes. Because why the futures are dropping? So what you need to understand is that initially when the number comes out, algorithms are the first one to trade the overall number. So when we have, for example, now here at my time, it's 14:30. So at 14:30, that's when CPI numbers drop. So CPI comes in colder than expected, right? So it comes in at 0.2 and not 0.3. So what the algorithms then read is they read this as bullish for indices, so for NAS, and then they see this as bearish for USD. This is how the algorithm reads it. So straight away, what you see happening is you see a big spike up on NAS 100, you see a big spike up on Bitcoin, you see a push down on the dollar. This is like the initial reaction, but this is mainly algorithms trading. But obviously there's also news behind it, right? Behind that inflation. So we need to understand where or why the inflation is dropping, and that's probably now what's happening. So let me quickly check. I'm still waiting for the other numbers because it's dependent on the reason why inflation is dropping, because that is ultimately more important than the number itself. I'm just going to close the window, guys, right here because of the people working on the streets outside. All right, guys, I haven't disappeared. I'm still here. Fab, where does CPI year on year come into this? Because this is actual good reading of 3.1. Let me quickly check what the other numbers are. Aha, so I see indeed there's a mixed reading because we have core CPI that came in bad. So let me quickly draw it up for you guys. So you obviously have two forms of inflation. So on one side you have core CPI, and then on the other side, you just have CPI itself. So the difference between core CPI and CPI is that with core CPI, it excludes volatile kind of like aspects of inflation, of measuring inflation. So if I'm not mistaken, it excludes energy and food prices, because energy and food prices tend to swing a lot. So that's the big difference. So when it comes to core CPI came in at 2.7%, which is better than expected. And CPI itself came in at 0.2%, which is worse than expected. So there's kind of like a mixed reading. That's why the market is not really committing to one direction, except Bitcoin is, but US 30 is not really. US 500 is committing somewhat to the upside for now. So let's see where the dollar is going to be heading today. For now, dollar dropped obviously, but it's now being bought up again. It's too early to say where the dollar will be heading next, and obviously I'm now on stream, so I can't fully read what is actually going on, but I'm going to be reading after this. So curious why the gold would go down even though dollar is going down, because ultimately gold goes up when inflation is high, because gold is a hedge against inflation. Guys, so let me know what pairs you are looking at for today. Let me know what you guys are looking at for today. For now, EURUSD is still very stuck. As you can see, kind of like the range tool that I highlighted this morning has pretty much played out. Very clear. Again, 25% level is just pretty much where you want to buy. So you could have taken some quick scalps here on gold or on EURUSD. What am I saying? Gold. On EURUSD, obviously kind of like a scalp like this, you already have a quick one-to-one very easily in the bag just by simply trading CPI. Obviously spreads will be a little bit bigger and you can't trade it on prop firm accounts. But again, 25% level acting as a natural area where the market will bounce from. Market for now consolidating on EURUSD, so it would be a little ignorant to think that you know what's going to happen inside of here. From like a scalping perspective, obviously you can take like a scalp, but for the rest, you need to wait for the market to break out. Preferably, I would like to see it still drop a little bit lower. This is not really a nice reversal area in my opinion for EURUSD, as demand is still open obviously, and from a daily perspective, the daily demand zones also still need to be hit. So not really looking for those EURUSD longs at the moment, but shorts are also a little bit tricky to take at the moment, due to there not being like a clear over order flow, and you would actually kind of like want to liquidate something first before looking for shorts. But for now, I mean, the over order flow does remain bearish, and we are reacting to this supply zone over here. So I would prefer push down, but at the same time, it's consolidating, so it could just also trickle up, liquidate a little bit, just chop around. So let's wait for some momentum on EURUSD to come into the markets. A position that I'm much more favorable, or that is much more favorable, is obviously GBPUSD, a pair that I highlighted this morning. So GBPUSD is kind of like one of those pairs that I'm really liking for shorting opportunities at the moment. Very clear price action, where we have a beautiful overextended leg in towards the highs, and then a beautiful ascending piece of price action here. This is one of the most beautiful ascending channels that I've seen in a very long time, because the market reaches its overextended level, and then for those Elliott wave theory people, you call this like a 1 2 3 4 5. For myself, I just call this 1 2 3, and then on the third trendline touch here, together with the fact that we liquidate this overall high, the short comes into play. So we can then clearly see that after taking out that swing high, the market does what? It provides us with the change of character. Now that change of character happened in one of the most beautiful ways possible, over here, with that strong impulse in towards the downside. From that point onwards, we obviously form a clear level of supply here on the buy before the sell. And then from that point onwards, you can pretty much look to get that further shorting towards the downside. Now, from that point onwards, the market has continuously respected the overall fractal structure, and that has also continuously respected the overall imbalances. So beautiful to see again. And now I'm just following the overall order flow, also known as the overall fractal structure here on GBPUSD in towards the downside. So for myself, it's kind of like GU is fighting at the moment. It has some demand in here. This is obviously the sub for the buy candle that caused the break of structure. But then again, for myself, I'm seeing a very clear reversal pattern here with the 1 2 3. Therefore, I'm kind of like looking for some more shorts here on GBPUSD back down towards this low over here. So favoring some more shorts, not really too interested in longs. The only way that I would be interested in longs again is that we see kind of like some real significant momentum come back into the markets, break the fractal high here, and then look for some longs again. But for now, I'm just mainly focused on the shorts in towards the downside. Also because we had some very bad or poor pound data come out on Friday. So last Friday, growth is stagnant in the United Kingdom. So it is very likely that interest rates are going to be cut, because interest rates in the United Kingdom are still high, but they're looking to cut rates very soon. So I'm looking for further shorts on GBPUSD in line also with the poor growth numbers that we are seeing coming out in the UK. So that's what I have for GU. Those for the short positions. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, you can do what I mentioned this morning, and that's just follow the 4-hour fractal. As we can see, as of now, the current 4-hour fractal is being respected. Again, where does the market retrace into premium pricing? As we can see here, 0.5 fib acting as the natural barrier, and these are the kind of shorts that you can kind of like aggressively scale into. So I'm looking to see GU push further down, but obviously this is kind of like a CPI trade, so not kind of like the best trade that you want to be in, but you could have already entered prior to CPI, and then you see that price makes pretty much a perfect connection with that 1-hour supply zone, which is this candlestick over here, this buy before the sell candle over here. Price connects and then drops down. So I'm looking for some continuation on GBPUSD, and for now it's looking good. I would definitely not wanting to be buying GBPUSD at the moment. Looking for this to continue downwards with the overall momentum. Then moving on, we can obviously have a look at gold. I know a lot of you are a big fan of gold, so let's have a look over there. Gold is currently dropping. Still for me, the drop is kind of like in line with what I want to see. Perfectly fine. I'm still happy to look for gold longs, but we just needed a little bit better pricing. Now, when it comes to gold, you know what I'm looking for, and that is just longs, guys. So what we have over here on gold is, first of all, the fact that gold from a swing structure perspective, so from this swing low in towards the bigger swing high, is that we have bullish swing structure. Now, second of all, we have bullish fractal structure. So there are two forms of market structure that I always keep an eye on. That is the F for fractal and the S for swing structure. So the market overall is bullish here from a swing structure perspective from this low in towards this high. Then what we see is that the market retraces in towards this sell for the big buy up, which is the demand zone, causes the V-shaped reversal in towards the highs. The market then gave us the ascending correction, sold off in towards the downside, grabbed liquidity at the beginning of that overall ascending correction, taps into demand, and then gives us the V-shaped reaction again, causing the bullish fractal break. So overall, we are bullish here on gold after this fractal break took place. Second fractal break took place, and now from a fractal perspective here on the daily time frame, the market is bullish together with the swing structure that is bullish. So overall, what we can see is that the market is that, guys, oh my god, man, we have another spammer in the chat, always beautiful. Is that here on the daily time frame, gold overall is bullish. So what we can see is that we can look for potential longs. Now, at the moment, for myself though, what we have here is the fact that we have still the 0.5 fib open. So it's not ideal to look for buys just yet here on gold. Obviously, gold always has a lot of momentum, so it can fly at any point in time. But I'm looking for a little bit of a deeper retracement. For now, supply is obviously still in control here on the 4-hour time frame. You can as well see that the 4-hour fractal remains in control. Fractal high, fractal low. So I'll be looking just to follow this again in towards the downside, in towards the 0.5 fib before looking for any buys on gold myself. Overall, what I would like to see is for gold to push a little bit lower. It could fly up at any point in time, obviously. If it breaks the fractal high here, then I'll look to get into longs again. But for longs that are better priced, I would preferably want to see it kind of like follow the overall supply chain in towards the downside. And then at some point in time, at discount prices, then flip bullish again before looking to get into any potential longs. Okay, so that's what I have for gold at the moment. I see some short-term shorting opportunities still on the table, and that is potentially what you could be looking at. So that's it for gold. At the moment as well, 50-minute fractal is bearish and 50-minute supply pushing the market down lower. So yeah, some clean price action. Another pair that I've been looking at for quite some time is obviously USD Swiss. Has been manipulating and consolidating. I can see that this CPI news hasn't really moved this shit pair. So staying and keep my hands off of this. There's no real added use in obviously trying to trade within this overall range that we have here on USD CHF, as the market is clearly consolidating within this overall box. So won't tend to trade this at the moment, for anybody wondering. Same goes for USD JPY. However, USD JPY is a lot more impulsive, obviously, with the fact that Japan has kept its interest rates low. There's a lot of uncertainty as well in Japan at the moment due to the fact that there are going to be elections in Japan on the 20th of July. So in towards these elections, there's a lot of uncertainty. Obviously, Japan itself has been struggling heavily with the overall fiscal policy situation that it has there. Japan has a very high debt to GDP ratio. Furthermore, they have structural inflation at the moment, especially with what happened in 2023. I dropped an update on this inside Discord. But in 2023, there was a massive heat wave, which caused a lot of the rice crops to overall be destroyed. So rice prices have gone up 70% year on year, causing overall a lot of weakness from the Japanese yen. Now then, in addition to that, overall interest rates have been a lot higher in the United States. Interest rates in Japan have been lower, and if you follow the videos again for a long time, you know that there is there's something called the carry trade, right? So in the United States at the moment on the US dollar, there's an interest rate of 4.5%. Then let's say in Japan at the moment, there is an interest rate of 0.25%. Not sure if these numbers are correct, so don't quote me on that at the moment. But then obviously what you can do is that you can borrow in Japan for 0.25, and then you can invest in the United States against 4.5% interest rate. So that is currently additionally causing the dollar to appreciate in value against the Japanese yen. And then in addition to that, the political instability that we have in Japan is also causing for further weakness from the Japanese yen. So that's the main reason why dollar yen has been flying so much. and yeah, the main reason why you continuously want to be looking for those buys on UJ. Obviously nothing really slowing it down at the moment. I also highlighted here that as long as this overall daily demand remains in control, you just kind of like want to continuously look for those buys. Also from the 4-hour perspective, I mean, it's so bullish, it's actually mad. This is what I often explain as well with UJ. You can just buy on the bloody high breaks and it just continues to fly up higher. So UJ, not looking for shorts at all on that. For the rest, what we can look at is silver. I know a lot of you are looking or peeking at silver. Silver had a nice rally again. Overall, silver has made its move. I think silver is trading at those 2000 and what levels? 2012 levels. So for silver, it is near an area of supply here. So we have this supply over there and it hasn't tapped in yet. So yeah, wouldn't really look for shorts on silver, obviously also not with the momentum that it currently has at the moment. Overall, follow the weekly and the daily fractal structure up higher. It would be preferable to see a little bit of a lower retracement down in towards the lows, but for myself, I don't really see good opportunities on silver as the overall move has been made already. CAD pairs are flying. Let's have a look. CAD yen is flying. Let me quickly look what news came out on the Canadian dollar. So I can see inflation in Canada came in better than expected. Again, is it clear for everyone why higher inflation is good for a currency, guys? If you need, or would you like me to explain that, or you just want me to do trade breakdowns? Let me know in the chat what you guys would like to see me explaining. Should we continue with other pairs, or would you like me to explain a little bit more about inflation? In the meantime, indeed, CAD yen flying. Euro CAD should be dropping very hard. I think Euro CAD was one of those pairs indeed that a lot of us were looking for shorts on. Euro CAD was actually a very, very clean pair, guys, where we had very, very beautiful price action. Over here, what we can see here on Euro CAD is a beautiful, beautiful break of structure on the daily time frame. Now, what do you expect after a break of structure, guys? What do you expect after a break of structure? You expect a potential pullback to take place. Now, when do you expect a pullback to take place? You expect a pullback to take place after fractal structure breaks. So what we had here was a fractal structure break in towards the downside. Now, at that point in time, you can pretty much just get in on the sell opportunity here based on the daily time frame if you trade the daily. However, it's a little bit risky to do, and I always prefer a little bit more confirmation. So let's say you're looking to trade on the daily time frame, you want to kind of like be looking for that 4-hour time frame confirmation. So what I then do is I go to the 4-hour time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, we had an area of supply. Now that area of supply is then obviously this over here, this imbalance candle. That is what everybody's looking at. However, if you then enter on top of that supply zone with your stop loss above it, it is a very risky trade to take because one, you don't really have a lot of confirmation. Number two, it's a very small stop loss, and number three, there's also no like real liquidity in the overall push down. So preferably in these situations, what I would do is I would note this down as liquidity high. I would note this down as a liquidity high. I would wait for either one of those highs to get taken out, or simply just for the price to retrace in towards that supply zone and give me the fractal confirmation entry. Now on this particular trade example, I prefer then for liquidity to get taken out and then for the trade to happen. So what you see happening here is that the market indeed came back up in towards that overall supply zone. It gave you the initial bearish candlestick. That is where most traders go short. But then again, for myself, what you want to be looking for is that additional confirmation before price comes into that supply zone. And this can, for example, be done on, let's say, the 1-hour time frame. So you could go to the 1-hour time frame. You could say, once price reaches that 4-hour supply zone, I'm going to be waiting for price to kind of like give me some bearish momentum. Well, as you can see, market consolidated, but no real bearish momentum in towards the downside. So no real sellers coming into the market. So then on the 4-hour time frame, what I then wait for is, okay, liquidity to get grabbed. So let me just delete these levels. Now, the first liquidity high over here got grabbed. Now, what I want to see happening is kind of like fractal structure come closer to where I'm currently trading at. So what we see happening here is, let me just press click, 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 click. So look, now this is perfect. This is absolutely beautiful, guys, because in this particular example, what happened is that the market came up higher. It came up higher all the way for that second liquidity high, which I noted down. Now, at the moment, you're in daily bearish fractal structure. Then you go to the 4-hour time frame. And here on the 4 hour, you're just waiting for the current fractal low to break, because that is kind of like your entry confirmation to take that daily setup. Now here, what happens is that we then form an area of supply. And then in addition to that, because you wait for that confirmation on the lower time frame, you can also place your stop loss a little bit tighter, because if you were to take that setup on the daily, you would have a stop loss of around 115 pips. But because now I'm taking it on the 4 hour time frame, the stop loss is around 63 pips. So the RR is a lot better. Now what happens is that the market then retraces in towards that supply zone, and now currently it's been consolidating, but it's selling off again. So let's see if those good inflation numbers in Canada will be able to push Euro CAD down lower. I'm looking at this trade and I think it's a pretty good one overall. If you're in it, obviously it's a little bit aggressive against the overall momentum, but also kind of like from a 1-2-3 perspective. And what do I mean with the 1-2-3 perspective? Kind of like the ascending channel. I like what I'm currently seeing in the sense that we have 1, 2, 3. I'm looking for kind of like a deeper overall sell-off on Euro CAD. I also see that the euro is pretty overvalued. I've been looking at the euro and I'm reading on it a little bit more and more. I'll be dropping some updates on euro very, very soon. But EuroCAD looks good. GBPUSD in the meantime not moving too significantly. Gold in the meantime also not really moving too significantly. So a little bit mixed feelings on those dollar pairs overall. Let's see what else is looking good. Swiss yen, one of those pairs you just always want to buy. Let's see. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. For the rest, nothing too much. Okay. Yeah, let me know what other pairs are looking interesting, guys. Please, one of those pairs like EuroCAD, very curious to hear. And by the way, the overall fundamental document, guys, can be found inside Discord, but I'll also be dropping it on the Instagram story. If you're not inside Discord, link to the Discord server is inside the description of this video. Discord.gg/thetradingacademy. I've dropped the link to the Discord as well inside of this stream. Now, moving on into some other pairs. And by the way, I never really explained that on inflation, but because we're kind of like already in these pairs. But what I'll do is I'll just drop a text explainer inside Discord on inflation, because then I can also create like a better explanation overall. Because if I explain it here, I'm just going to keep ranting, and I see you guys still have a lot of questions for what pairs you want me to analyze. So let me dive into those first. Looking at Euro GBP. So let's have a look at Euro GBP, because Euro GBP is one of those pairs as well that I've been wanting to trade. Let me see. Euro I start speaking Dutch sometimes. Euro GBP. So Euro GBP is for me a bullish pair overall. I've been seeing this as bullish for a long time, to be honest, already since we were trading kind of like over here. I sent some updates inside Discord to look for longs. For me, momentum is still towards the upside, still expecting a weak pound, so only looking for pretty much upside on Euro GBP in towards the highs. Not really looking for shorts on that, but to be honest, it's not very well priced at the moment. So yeah, I would only be looking to kind of like get into Euro GBP again on the reaccumulation. For now, it's kind of like made its push up, so I'm not looking to buy here. I would need to wait for consolidation, some manipulation, and then I would look to get involved again on Euro GBP. USD JPY, we've analyzed. Euro USD, it's consolidating. Euro AUD, let's have a quick look at that. What is going on? So Euro AUD obviously pushing in towards the downside, again in line with that stronger Australian dollar that we have been seeing. Overall, Euro AUD is bearish on the daily fractal. Let's dive into the weekly and see what is going on. So based on the weekly time frame, Euro AUD is still bullish. We obviously have the bullish weekly fractal structure, and we've tapped into a weekly area of demand. Now, dropping down into the daily time frame, we can see that the daily swing is bullish. For now, we've seen a break of structure. We've seen a break of structure, swing low, swing high. Overall momentum is in towards the upside. Euro AUD is one of those pairs that I would preferably want to be looking for longs at some point in time. I know some people made a mistake of, for example, buying on this demand zone. This is a mistake a lot of traders tend to make. So in this kind of example here, what you see happening is that the overall market is bullish in towards the highs, right? So we're trading kind of like this overall uptrend in towards the highs. The overall swing structure is bullish as well. So your swing structure is from this low in towards, let me get that again, is from this low in towards this high. The market has made a retracement in towards demand and in towards, let's say, 786 Fibonacci retracement. Now the momentum is in towards the upside. You see bullish fractal break, right? So the sub for the buy remains in control. So again, you're just looking for new long positions from that sub for the buy, which is positioned over here. Now the big mistake with this area of demand is like it's built on ascending lows. So what happens is that this is liquidity. You want to see kind of like the liquidity grabbed, and then you want to see the bullish confirmation again. So what we happen to see here is indeed the liquidity gets grabbed. So now what I'm waiting for is for a new support base to be formed, preferably from this demand zone over here. So I'm looking maybe for some more short-term downside, for example, in towards this demand zone, and then wait for the fractal confirmation inside there to then look for longs, for example. Again, that's something that I would be more interested in at the moment. Furthermore, AUD CHF possible buys, USD CAD, what are we looking at? So AUD CHF, a pair that personally not very interested in, but it's looking good overall for some further upside. For now, it's reacted to this overall sell before the buy, and yeah, I would say it does have some potential to keep pushing for now. Going into USD CAD, let me get a better chart open here on the screen. Looking here at USD CAD, extremely consolidative, a pair that you don't really want to be trading at the moment. Overall momentum. Daily fractal is bullish. 4-hour time frame wise, if it loads, yeah, so 4-hour time frame wise, we're just very consolidative. So not really something I'm looking to get involved with at the moment until some sustained momentum comes back. Is there any difference between a candle fractal break and a wick fractal break? Yes, preferably you want to be trading with candle breaks, which happen with a candle close. So fractal structure with candle closes will always be stronger. And for the rest, AU pumping at the moment. This is kind of like what we discussed this morning. Or this is still old? No. AU pumping, kind of like what we discussed this morning. Hope some of you have been able to capitalize on this. I discussed that this daily imbalance for now is in control, and that it still has the potential to push up a little bit higher. GPCAD should be falling. Yes. So GCAD looking at for the downside. Been selling GCAD a lot in recent weeks. Just follow the 4-hour fractals down lower. This is yeah, bearish, and it has been bearish for a long time. Also from a fundamental perspective, the pound again, not looking to buy it, and GBPUSD is still slow, not really moving. Crypto not moving. Gold dropping indeed, so that is good. I would like to see some lower prices on gold. And for the rest, US 500, yeah, slow. Okay. Yeah. So let's see what else. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, Adrian. Means a lot. What pairs are you looking to trade this week from a dollar perspective? Mainly just GBPUSD, to be honest, man. I don't really see any opportunities on the rest. Mainly GBPUSD. And guys, I'm able to give away another funded challenge with the trading pit. So I'm able to give away a 25k challenge. All you need to do is, because I'm going to give it away now, so all you need to do is sign up to the prop firm, the trading pit. I'm dropping a link now in the chat. If you have not yet signed up, make sure to sign up using this link, because I'm allowed to give away another account, guys, today. So if you want to have the opportunity to win a $25,000 challenge with them, all you need to do is sign up, and I'm going to be giving away a 25k challenge today inside Discord. So I'll drop the winner inside my market updates channel with an @ and an @ here. So make sure to sign up, and then I'll give that account away within the next 2 hours. So you have around an hour to sign up, and then I'll be giving it away. So yeah, that, and for the rest, to be honest, just waiting, man. I think the main opportunities mainly just comes from like trading with the momentum, man. So I'm looking for those further GU shorts. For the rest, what could it be? Like GU shorts, maybe an NZD USD long to hedge that GU short. And for the rest, I'll be looking for gold buys if it drops a little bit lower. And Euro USD buys only from lower levels as well. For the rest, Euro GBP, if it manipulates and consolidates a bit, Euro CAD, maybe get in on the momentum on Euro CAD. Maybe we can do that. For now, nice supplies in over here. Maybe look at the lower time frame on Euro CAD and you get some more short scale ins, but obviously it's very consolidative, so maybe just wait for the momentum to return. And then USD Swiss is also like barcode materials, so that's that. The link, guys, is here. I've dropped again the link in the chat, so make sure to sign up. And yeah, might have same problem. Yeah, okay, guys, thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to drop the inflation update inside Discord and the winner as well of the giveaway. So make sure to be inside Discord, link in the description of this video. Thank you again for watching. And then I'll be traveling to Dubai tomorrow. So I hope you guys will be, or some of you might be in Dubai. If you are in Dubai, send me a message on Discord. And for the rest, the ebook has been launched. It's inside Discord. I'll also drop the link to that on Instagram. And if you have any questions, make sure to ask them inside Discord. So yeah, see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a fantastic trading day and speak